Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the critical information. Today, we are strapping in for a pretty turbulent 3 weeks in Genoa City. It's defined by, well, an astonishing collapse of corporate trust.
Oh, absolutely. And at the same time, this dramatic rise in personal betrayals.
Exactly. The source material we dove into, it spans from September 8th right through to the 26th. And honestly, it promises fireworks that could scorch the entire town.
That's definitely the right way to frame it. This isn't just, squabbles between couples. This is high-stakes corporate warfare.
Yeah.
You see it with Adam Newman's fury just exploding, and then Claire Newman's emotional outburst, all while the biggest names, the Abbotts and the Newmans, are basically trying to permanently ruin each other's companies.
So the mission today is pretty clear. We need to unpack this incredibly complicated web of alliances, figure out exactly which massive secrets are like ticking time bombs, and really try to determine who the true aggressors are in all this chaos. Because, we are dealing with deliberate, planned sabotage on multiple fronts here.
And what's fascinating, I think, is the sheer calculation involved. Like, the business plots aren't just happening alongside the romantic conflicts.
No.
They're actively fueling them. The whole structure of these 3 weeks, it just completely depends on secrets, on exploiting people's personal weaknesses.
Okay, let's unpack this. And I think we absolutely have to start with the biggest strategic move, the biggest corporate disaster of this period, the corporate ruination plot, and that unbelievable Abbott-Com sabotage.
Yeah, that plot, orchestrated right from the top, basically. It was engineered for maximum humiliation, maximum financial disruption. It's really an example of using, market optics as a weapon.
It kicks off with the sabotage event itself, September 10th. Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra, they arrive at Society. They're expecting, this triumphant Abbott-Com launch party.
And this wasn't just supposed to be a press release, right?
No, not at all. This was meant to be a colossal statement by Sally as the brand new CEO. Think about it. Massive venue, A-list crowd, fancy decor, champagne, music, a whole spectacle.
Designed to tell the market, hey, Jabot's aggressive. We're tech-forward. This is the future.
And instead of that spectacle, they walk into a vacuum. Basically nothing.
The sources describe it as the anti-party. No crowd, no music, no celebration. Decorations probably minimal, maybe non-existent.
Right. And instead of hundreds of guests and media, they find just one person there.
Kane Ashby.
Kane Ashby. And Sally is described as being absolutely horrified. Which, when you think about the scale of what should have been versus this lonely reality, it's not just embarrassment. It's a colossal immediate failure for the CEO.
Yeah, her primary corporate objective just crashed and burned right there.
And Kane, the only guy there, he delivers this chilling, really calculated welcome. He says something like, he's glad they made it because he was starting to get worried.
Oof. That line is so crucial. It's not like he just happened to be there.
No.
It's confirmation. He's the designated agent of chaos, basically standing there, overseeing the destruction he caused.
So the immediate fallout, September 11th, Billy has to answer directly to Jack Abbott.
You bet he does. And the questions won't just be about, how it looked. Jack's going to demand accountability for the huge financial waste, the severe damage to their reputation.
Definitely. This kind of failure, it suggests some kind of internal leak or maybe sophisticated external data interference. Something that made sure guests either didn't get the final invite or were actively told not to come.
Yeah, something went very wrong behind the scenes.
And while Billy's trying to manage this corporate mess, Phyllis Summers is circling like a vulture.
Of course she is.
She's described as being busy pushing Sally's buttons, giving her unwanted, unneeded advice. We really need to look at what kind of interference this is.
Right. Phyllis isn't offering, helpful business tips here.
No way. She's likely telling Sally to leverage the crisis, maybe turn against Billy. Or maybe even, hey, resign now before they figure out how bad this really is.
It's advice designed purely to serve Phyllis's own chaotic agenda, not help Sally's career at all.
Which leads us right to the strategic connection. We have to pull back the curtain on the real orchestrator here. And this is where it gets really interesting. This sabotage isn't just some random competitive move. It is a key tactic in Victor Newman's ultimate long-game objective. The source is explicit about this.
Yeah, Victor's goal is to use Kane Ashby's proprietary deep learning algorithm.
Right.
And let's be clear, it's not just some super-duper AI. It's a sophisticated financial and operational weapon.
A weapon designed for corporate annihilation. That's the term.
Exactly.
Permanently ruin. That is the goal. We're talking about a deliberate attempt to compromise Jabot's integrity, destabilize its core markets, designed specifically to just collapse Jack Abbott's legacy.
It's absolutely ruthless, which is precisely why Nick Newman, Victor's own son, is clearly grappling with the morality of this attack.
Nick's actions, they really speak volumes here. We see him entrusting Sharon with a massive secret.
And the speculation is confirmed. He tells her about Victor's alliance with Kane, about this weaponized deep learning program.
What do you think this program actually does?
Well, it's likely designed to do serious damage. Maybe track Jabot's supply chain weaknesses, compromise their intellectual property, or maybe use predictive analytics to flood their markets or undercut them at just the right or wrong moment.
That secret is so critical because it draws this clear ethical line right through the Newman family. Nick knows how ruthless his father can be, and he's clearly uncomfortable enough with this whole scheme to break rank and confide in Sharon. He's either distancing himself from Victor's methods or maybe, just maybe, positioning himself to counteract them later on.
Meanwhile, Sally, the new CEO, she's standing right in the eye of this hurricane.
Totally. She's walking this impossible tightrope, trying to establish her leadership while Kane is actively executing Victor's plan against her company.
She's facing intense struggles, personal and professional, all at once. The source notes she's dealing with some kind of ethical issue around Abbott-Com, Kane, Jack, Billy, something that's making her feel very uncomfortable.
That discomfort, it suggests she's found something much worse than just a ruined party, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. She might have found evidence of Kane's system actually accessing Jabot's private data, or maybe she's been pressured, maybe indirectly through Victor, to just look the other way, or even use the chaos to help Newman interests.
Her position basically forces her to choose now, corporate integrity or self-preservation.
And Kane, he's far from satisfied with just wrecking the launch party. He's consolidating his position.
Right. Between September 15th and 19th, he takes the next steps in his plan. It says he gains a new ally.
Which indicates Victor's scheme is moving into its next phase. Kane's leveraging the Abbott-Com failure to expand his own corporate footprint, probably bringing in more resources, more technical expertise.
To make sure that permanent ruination of Jabot actually happens.
His influence is growing, and that's a threat not just to Jabot, but potentially to the stability of the whole Genoa City business scene.
It's a classic playbook move, isn't it? Use corporate chaos to grab power. And just as that corporate trust is collapsing over at Jabot, we see the same kind of poison infecting personal relationships.
Exactly. Let's pivot now to that magnificent, multi-layered mess involving Claire, Kyle, and Audra.
Magnificent mess is right.
Because this whole arc just proves that the schemes happening in the boardroom are matched, maybe even surpassed, by the incredibly confidential and deeply damaging secrets being kept, behind closed doors and in the past.
Okay, so it starts around September 8th. Audra's desperation is peaking.
Right. She's desperately trying to manage her relationship crisis. She's actually blabbing to Sally about her problems with Claire and Kyle.
And Sally, ever the survivor, gives her some pretty pragmatic advice, even if Audra doesn't take it, basically. Relax and steer clear of Claire and Kyle at the Abbott-Com launch.
Sally probably knew any public confrontation would be terrible for Audra's professional image.
But Audra's situation just goes downhill fast when Holden Novak shows up.
Yeah, he rolls up on her. Audra's apparently still bad-mouthing Claire, taunting her.
And Holden just tells her point blank, knock it off, shut up.
But Audra, showing this shocking arrogance maybe, she just laughs at Holden, thinks he has absolutely no chance with Claire romantically.
But Holden isn't there to talk romance. He's there for leverage. Total leverage.
And he issues this devastating ultimatum. Leave Claire and Kyle alone, or he tells Sally Audra's boss about their past activities in L.A.
Specifically, Holden threatens to spill the beans on how he cleaned up Audra's illegal mess.
Okay, we need to pause on that. Illegal mess. What could that actually mean for Holden to use this as basically an existential threat?
It can't be minor.
No way. Given their corporate backgrounds, it probably involves serious white-collar stuff. Falsifying documents, covering up insider trading, maybe even significant financial fraud that crossed state lines. Something where Holden had to risk his own neck, or at least his reputation, to clean it up.
And Holden is dead serious. He vows Audra will be done in Genoa City. Not just fired, but totally ruined, unhireable, if he reveals this big secret.
That immediately changes everything.
Yeah.
It's not just a messy love triangle anymore. It's outright high-stakes blackmail. Holden suddenly has enormous life-altering power over Audra.
And this threat is happening at the exact same time as all the emotional instability between Claire and Kyle.
Right. Claire is furious. She's upset. Audra's been taunting her. Kyle kissed Audra. She's confused by his recent proposal, which felt rushed, pressured.
She even questions Victor, wondering aloud if his original warnings about Kyle were right after all.
Which must make Victor's response even more shocking for her, because Victor turns around and tells Claire the complete opposite.
He says Kyle actually passed his test, proved himself, and Victor confirms he does believe Kyle loves Claire.
And then Victor drops the key piece of info. Kyle impressed him by offering him a deal he kept secret from Claire.
The $5 million contract.
Yeah. And $5 million, that's not just pocket change, that's strategic money. What exactly did Kyle offer that impressed Victor so much?
Could be anything, right? Intellectual property, committing resources to some Newman project, maybe signing some ironclad non-compete clause that helps Newman Enterprises.
Whatever it was, it proved Kyle's loyalty to Claire's family, apparently, but at this huge personal cost that he refused to share with her.
And in classic manipulative Victor style, he refuses to actually tell Claire the details of the contract.
Nope, just tells her to listen to her heart and go talk to Kyle.
But we have to look closely at that. The fact that Kyle kept this massive $5 million deal secret from the woman he just proposed to, that's a catastrophic breach of transparency, isn't it? Even if Victor sees it as proof of sincerity.
It creates an immediate fundamental trust problem.
Yeah.
How can Kyle expect Claire to marry him when he's making multi-million-dollar secret deals with her notorious grandfather?
The situation is so jarring that even Victoria, when she talks to Victor about it, is reportedly shocked that her father is actually supporting this couple.
But Victoria and Victor do agree on one thing.
Audra.
She's a huge problem, they both agree, and they need her gone. She's a disruptive force, threatening this fragile peace Victor seems to be trying to build for Claire.
Meanwhile, Kyle's doing damage control. He apologizes to Victoria for overstepping when he tried to expose Audra's scheme earlier.
And crucially, he apologizes to Claire for pressuring her with the proposal.
But Claire's kind of past apologies now, isn't she? She is fed up with all the secrets surrounding them. She demands to know the precise nature of the deal Kyle made with Victor.
The pressure is mounting, and the drama only escalates the next day, September 9th, when Holden starts to come clean to Claire. This is his moment of truth.
He reveals the actions he and Audra took back in LA, admitting it was not strictly legal. He's clearly trying to get out ahead of this, maybe before Audra gets exposed some other way.
But Holden is deeply worried about the consequences of being honest. He's very worried she won't see him the same way if she finds out the truth, that he was involved, even peripherally, in covering up a crime.
Claire keeps pressing him, though, which indicates he's about to spill everything to the specific crime, his role in it.
And all this intense pressure leads directly to a very tense run-in between the three of them, Kyle, Claire, and Holden. All the secrets, LA, the Victor contract, they're all about to collide.
It's just a confluence of betrayals, past and present.
So the critical question the sources pose is, will Kyle finally tell Claire the details about the $5 million contract to try and soothe her fears?
And the prediction is chilling. It says Claire may flip when she hears the specifics.
Which makes sense. That level of financial secrecy, especially involving her grandfather, Victor, who's already manipulated her life so much, it's not just a breach of trust. It confirms her deepest fears about marrying into that whole family corporate structure.
It just highlights how trust, or really the complete lack of it, is the central currency here. Every major relationship in Genoa City right now seems built on shifting sand and hidden secrets.
Which is exactly the dynamic that allows our next set of events to unfold so easily.
Let's move to segment 3 then, because the chaos isn't just limited to the Newman and Abbott executive suites, is it?
Not at all. We have peripheral chaos, risky alliances developing between September 12th and 26th, all designed to destabilize pretty much everyone we've already talked about.
And the biggest new development involves Michael Baldwin. Around September 12th, Victor and Michael finalize their unfinished business. That likely signals Michael's official departure from working directly for Victor.
But Victor doesn't just let talent walk away, does he?
Never. So Michael is immediately considering this calculated gamble, going to work for Kane Ashby.
Which is fascinating, right? Michael's a highly strategic lawyer. Why would he possibly go work for the guy who's actively trying to ruin Jabba?
The answer is the double secret. Victor wants Michael to spy on Kane while he's working there.
It's a textbook infiltration plot. Michael's being asked to go from Victor's trusted advisor to Victor's secret agent inside the enemy camp.
Basically acting as a failsafe or a double agent. gathering intel on exactly how Kane is executing Victor's plan.
But the sources really emphasize the huge personal cost of this espionage for Michael.
Yeah, he'll be hiding this entire high-risk operation spying in a corporate war zone from his wife, Lauren Fenmore, all through the fall.
And Lauren's been through enough instability with Michael's choices over the years. This puts a massive, secret, potential danger even right between them. It guarantees conflict down the road when she inevitably finds out what he's really up to.
Meanwhile, Billy Abbott is proving he just can't resist stirring up drama outside of his professional life. He's not just focused on the Abbott-com wreckage.
Nope. He's making his own dubious choices between the 15th and 19th.
And these choices involve tangling directly with Adam and Chelsea's relationship dynamic.
Ugh, Billy. For whatever reason, jealousy, boredom, some misguided attempt at control. He's getting involved in their personal lives.
And the source predicts a direct, immediate consequence for this meddling.
Yeah, it says this interference in Adam and Chelsea's relationship is predicted to mess with Billy's relationship with Sally.
Which makes total sense. Sally's already under incredible strain as CEO, dealing with Kane's sabotage. The last thing she needs is Billy creating drama with her ex-boyfriend and the mother of his child.
It just shows a profound lack of maturity, bad judgment on Billy's part. He's putting his relationship with Sally at extreme risk right when she needs his support the most.
It really is the definition of self-sabotage. Seems like he can't stay out of conflict.
Speaking of chaos agents, we have Phyllis Summers.
Oh, Phyllis. She's operating completely without a filter, pushing her limits with everyone, Sally, Nick, and she's specifically in hot water with Kane.
Being in hot water with Kane, that suggests she's either messed with his plans or maybe tried to use his new power base for her own gain and seriously miscalculated.
And Nick, recognizing the danger of getting tangled up with the guy executing Victor's permanent ruination scheme, actually warns Phyllis, tells her to cut bait and run from Kane.
But Phyllis,
Yeah,
predictably,
refuses to listen.
of course. Her refusal just highlights how reckless she's being right now. She seems more drawn to power or chaos than to her own self-preservation.
Which sets the stage for one of the most anticipated domestic disasters of these 3 weeks.
The wedding.
Danny and Christine Williams' wedding. Phyllis is described as calculatedly chaotic. The source material fully expects her to intervene dramatically in the wedding planning.
Which takes an unexpected turn.
Given her history with Danny and Christine, we can safely predict that turn is both highly dramatic and intentionally destructive, probably designed to derail the whole thing or at least humiliate them.
This whole period just feels like the combination of Phyllis's recent string of really destructive decisions.
Also swirling around all this corporate and personal drama is Audra, after Holden's successful blackmail.
Yeah, she's clearly destabilized, scrambling to get some control back.
She goes straight to Nate Hastings and apparently begs for another chance sometime between September 15th and 19th.
And this isn't just about romance, right? It shows her professional desperation, too. After Holden threatened her with total exposure, she's scrambling to lock down a powerful ally, corporate and personal, in Nate, trying to buffer herself against the inevitable fallout.
We also get a few other important relationship updates, kind of on the sidelines. Daniel is clearly flirting with Tessa.
Yeah, Nate tells her her lyrics and melody for Danny's song are beautiful, just like her, which is sweet, actually. Hence at a potential romantic renewal for Daniel, maybe.
But that sweetness is contrasted with a much more serious situation for Mariah and Tessa.
Mariah makes a confession to Tessa. And the source raises a really critical question. Are they moving from separation toward divorce?
A confession that implies something deeper than just relationship stress, doesn't it? Could be a revelation about their commitment, their family, maybe their readiness to even stay married.
It definitely signals a major turning point, maybe an irreversible one.
And finally, circling back to Claire and Holden, even amidst her intense conflict with Kyle over that $5 million secret,
Claire receives an interesting invitation from Holden,
which confirms that even after confessing about the not strictly legal stuff in LA, Holden is still very much pursuing her.
And the connection they share is apparently deep enough for Claire to actually consider his invitation, which just throws her relationship with Kyle into even greater doubt.
So, okay, we've laid out the plots, the secrets, the sabotage, all the ticking time bombs defining this 3-week period.
So what does this all mean when you put it all together?
It means Genoa City is basically locked in this battle where almost every major player is keeping some life-altering secret from the people closest to them.
Yeah, You've got Holden keeping the specifics of Audra's illegal past secret.
Mm.
You've got Kyle keeping the $5 million Vigor contract secret from Claire.
Michael keeping his spying on Kane for Victor's secret from Lauren.
And Victor, naturally, keeping the whole overarching scheme against Jack and Jabat secret from most of his own family, including Nick, who's now actively wrestling with his conscience over it.
And while all these explosive secrets are just bubbling under the surface,
Corporate and romantic relationships are being actively, viciously sabotaged by forces like Kane and Phyllis.
Kane's deliberately wrecking Sally's launch, attacking Jabot with this sophisticated corporate weapon.
And Phyllis is poised to wreck a wedding, cause chaos for Nick and Sally, just out of sheer, unbridled recklessness. The whole atmosphere is one of deliberate, strategic destruction.
It's just a masterful convergence of personal grudges and professional scheming, where trust seems completely irrelevant and leverage is absolutely everything.
But let's maybe focus on one final provocative thought that kind of ties this whole deep dive together, specifically looking at Victor's role in the whole Claire and Kyle saga.
Okay.
Victor claims he approves of Kyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
He even tells Claire that Kyle passed his test, proved his love by offering that secret strategic contract. He's painting himself as this benevolent patriarch, supporting his granddaughter's happiness.
Yeah, that's the story he's selling.
Yet, Victor refuses to reveal the $5 million contract detail to Claire, tells her to listen to her heart instead of demanding full transparency from Kyle.
Right. Which brings us to the big question you should really mull over, maybe explore on your own. If Victor truly wants them together, if he really believes Kyle is sincere, why is he actively ensuring that the very secret that could destroy their relationship remains hidden?
By refusing to release Kyle from keeping it secret, by refusing to tell Claire himself, he's intentionally creating this future volatile flashpoint. It's practically a guarantee that when that $5 million secret eventually, inevitably comes out,
it will lead to Claire's predicted flip and likely the ultimate destruction of the relationship.
So is Victor really supporting their union? Or is he just setting a catastrophic trap for later, ensuring that even if Kyle wins Claire's heart today, Victor still holds all the strings, still has total control over the future outcome of their marriage?
The master manipulator always makes sure the strings stay hidden, doesn't he? Even when he seems to be acting generously, guarantees every happy ending is conditional on his silent approval.
A truly unsettling thought to end on.
It really is. Thank you for diving deep with us today.
Until the next deep dive.